This is Trail Busters. You've got to bust out. Welcome to Trail Busters. This month we take a trip to the majestic Magaliesberg mountain range. First, it's off to Van Galen's cheese farm for the Crazy Store Magaliesberg challenge. Then, we take to the skies and fly with some vultures with a paragliding film by Green Renaissance.
About 3 years ago, after 5 years of Table Mountain Challenge success, I wondered what Gauteng and Northwest runners were doing for a bit of mountain action, and at the time there wasn't too much going on. So I popped out here to the Magaliesberg Mountains and together with a local farmer found a route that would be spectacular enough to call a Crazy Store Mountain Challenge, and that's where we got Magaliesberg from. So to have so many people on our second year, 1,000 entries, it's just unbelievable. It shows that there is a real need and a desire to get outdoors and to get into the mountains and enjoy themselves.
Starting at the world-famous Van Galen's cheese farm at the base of the Magaliesberg mountain range, the Crazy Store Magaliesberg Challenge is a trail running festival founded on madness. With the wild tales from the Anglo-Boer War, bloody battles and daring escapes, the area is the perfect setting for a daring and crazy feat of human endurance. The big event of the day was a 35-kilometer route taking runners up Hospitaal Pass along the ridge of the mountain and back down through beautiful kloofs before finishing at the Van Galen's cheese farm. Some of the runners were a little nervous about the distance.
Yeah, slightly scared though. Never done this distance before, but hey, I'll give it a go. Hoping for the best.
Over 250 runners turned up to take on the challenging 35-kilometer route, while the bulk of the participants preferred the shorter 20-kilometer and 10-kilometer options. Before beginning the steep climb up to the top of the mountain, the runners make their way through some 35 neighboring farms, thanks to the open-hearted generosity of local farmers. When considering the distance and difficulty of this 35-kilometer challenge, one would wonder what makes people choose to put themselves through such pain.
My Twitter name is Mad About Mountains, so Mad About Mountains, that's why we're here. And I've never run this race, and I think there are so many new trail runs out there, and it's nice to actually every time or every year you plan your year just doing new races and exploring new parts of the country.
Oh no, I love running. It's I think just to get out. You know, a lot of people come to an open area like this and sort of just take a look at something. But actually running, you get directly involved in it, which is the bonus of it. The trails will take you to places that you won't normally go to.
Normally, any extreme event, I go for the full distance. I never go for the shorter distances. It's part of my bucket list thing. I have this whole bucket list, and the problem with a bucket list is once it's on the bucket list, you can't take it off.
Without the extensive knowledge and expertise of local farmer Eric Skipper, runners would have a far more challenging route.
The 35k extreme starts in Bultfontein, and we go up the mountain there, and the local farmer calls it the Hospitaal Pad. That's from the Boer War. I just revamped the road, stacked the rocks again, because from underneath I could see there's a road up there. It's a beautiful little route up, an elevator I call it, and then we're on top of the mountain, and we go about 12-15 k's down the mountain to De Wetskopje. That's also part of the Boer War history, where De Wet escaped in the 1900s.
If runners are successful in summiting the Hospitaal Pass without actually ending up in hospital, they are rewarded with stunning views of the lower-lying bushveld to the north and the cooler Highveld to the south, while eager vultures circle overhead, searching for a possible early lunch.
And we live on a farm. It's also a choice. We lived in Stellenbosch. I teach my husband farms. It's a lifestyle choice to be outside, and we train running cattle tracks. When we're hot, we jump into the canal. It's just a fantastic lifestyle. And you can, what happened is we went on an expedition every year, but it's risky. Then we started a family. We were still climbing until about 7 years ago, when my son was born, and then we couldn't really get somebody to look after 2 children, so we converted to trail running.
The strange thing about the Magaliesberg mountain range is that there isn't a hiking trail anywhere across the top of this mountain. And it's a very busy mountain historically. There's been battles here between tribes, between Boers and Brits for the last few hundred years. But it doesn't seem to be someone that's put a nice hiking trail together. There are conservation groups, and we donated 7,000 Rand to the vultures today. But this is the first time someone seems to be actively using the ridgeline so that runners can get out there and see the views, see the dam, and have a really enjoyable time.
Yeah, I'm a nature lover. I love the rocks and the growth and the fig trees, and there's some proteas on top there. It's all different areas with clover, ups and downs. There's also a mushroom rock, a rock that's balancing on top of a small little rock, which is beautiful. I love the mountain top. It's unbelievable.
The most beautiful part, I think there was 2 times where I just looked to my right, and it's down the edge, down the ridge, and you can see the whole area. That was just awesome. I was just so grateful to be alive and to see it, to experience it.
One of the initiatives of this event is to raise money and awareness for the local Cape vulture population, which has faced an uncertain future due to the ongoing fragmentation of their local habitat. Over the years, the birds have increased in number in a rather dramatic fashion, thanks to the efforts of rhino and lion wildlife conservation, who have worked tirelessly to ensure this species' survival.
Yes, if you come out for the 35 Ks, the route is quite tough. The first 3 Ks is easy running. Then they take you up the mountain, up the Magalies mountain, and you stay on the ridge. They drop you down, they take you up again, and they take you up a kloof. It was very tough. Even walking is tough. So, but it's awesome, really.
Once runners have made their way back down to the base of the mountain, they get to run through beautiful lush kloofs, sheltered by a canopy of trees and bushes, with the knowledge that the finish line is only 10 kilometers away. But before that, they must ascend once more up a new addition to the route, known as the Stairway to Heaven. The new Stairway to Heaven gained choruses of insults and derision from those that could still speak. The trail director has vowed to toughen it up further for 2013, in a bid to silence any critics.
We're at the moment at Van Garland. We are also a mountain bike venue. That's why we've got a lot of trails. The trails we do with the permission of all our neighbours. They open their hearts and gates, and the trails go over 40 neighbour farms. And that's why we've got a trail centre here. Van Garland traditionally is a agri-tourism business. We make cheese and we've got a restaurant, and it's slowly developed now into this mountain bike centre.
Hey, well done.
In the final few kilometers, the athletes follow the course of the river, crossing it a few times before finally catching a glimpse of the Crazy Store Arch, which signifies the end of a long and tough day of running. While most of the runners took a whopping 4 to 5 hours to complete the 35 kilometers, one crazy runner, named Lucky Mia, managed an earth-shattering 2 hours 47 minutes to finish, sending Trevor Ball into a fit of hysterics claiming that the race was clearly not tough enough and that only a bionic man should be able to finish in under 3 hours. Upon finally reaching the finish line, the exhausted runners were rewarded with a free 15-minute massage from beautiful young ladies and a delicious lunch to replenish lost energy. But the highlight of the day was surely the prize giving, where unsuspecting participants were given free trees and apparel in a hilarious draw of luck.
Tell us how your run was.
Terrible.
Which part did you enjoy the most?
Now.
Ladies, CPR shorts. You must be medium. What does a medium-sized lady look like? Are you medium? Does it say medium? Jeez, why would you go running in a G-string?
Very tight legs, well done. 4.
Tough day at the office. Trail running is the chopper read of endurance sports, that's for sure.
Trail running is just way more extreme than road running. Road running is so easy. So here's a challenge for all the road runners. Come out and do a proper trail run like Magalies and you'll be converted.
This is Trail Busters. You've got to bust out. For most of us, it's the call of nature that draws us to the trail, to shed the scales of urban living and to take in the beauty that our environment has to offer. We chat with environmental filmmaker Michael Raimondo of Green Renaissance about his film on the Magaliesberg vultures and how paragliding helped his crew see the mountains and its wildlife from a whole new perspective.
Hi, I'm Michael from Green Renaissance, and you gotta bust out. My name is Michael Raimondo. I run a small production company called Green Renaissance, based here in Cape Town. We make films about environmental issues. We're very passionate about the outdoors, about trying to convince people to get out into nature, helping NGOs, helping corporates that are working on environmental issues. So we're very passionate about nature, and basically we really try and inspire people to get out there to try and make a difference. I studied environmental science at university and then later worked for the World Conservation Union, which is a massive NGO. And I soon realized that media and film has a massive potential to change awareness. You can put a film onto the internet and suddenly you can get 100, 1,000, even sometimes hundreds of thousands of people watching your message. So the power of film is huge. You make a film, you put it onto TV, and you have the ability to touch many, many people. Flying with Vultures is a film we made with SANBI, South Africa Botanical Institute, and STEPS. We were commissioned to make a film that sort of showcases sustainability stories in South Africa. I grew up in the Magaliesberg. I grew up on a little small holding outside of Brits. So the Magaliesberg has always been my stomping ground since I was a child. I remember watching black eagles nest close to the Arpies River. I remember running around those foothills. These are ancient mountains. We followed our main character, Kerry, who runs a vulture project, and she was to fly with these vultures for the first time in a paraglider. And the story really revolves around why vultures are endangered, and then going to meet the vulture in their own space, to jump off these cliffs in the Magaliesberg and to fly very close to these vultures. And that really was the story. We jumped off in paragliders, we filmed from the cliffs as well. I think the challenge with filming outdoors and filming with any wild animal is that it's completely unpredictable. You can't script a wild animal to do what you want to do. So, Warren, our DOP, was trying to film from the cliff and pulling focus on a 300mm lens. 600mm lens and trying to pull focus while these birds are flying towards him was incredibly difficult. We had the challenge of myself trying to fly with a small DSLR camera and filming the in the air situations. That was incredibly challenging. Yeah, and we're very lucky to have everything come together at the same time. We had all the birds come to us, a huge amount of birds, a few hundred birds fly around us. We had sunset, we had the right weather conditions. So sometimes, once in a while, as a filmmaker, everything comes together. And despite the challenges, we were very lucky to have everything come together on that afternoon in the Magaliesberg when we were flying with vultures.
Watching these birds and being able to lie back and see them soaring, it would be nice for just once to actually have that experience and have that feeling of complete freedom. I must be honest, if I get an opportunity and I can perhaps fly with the birds, I think it would be a huge life-changing experience. Cool, eh? If you look straight above you, it's the wind in their wings. You hear it? Flying up there, they're inquisitive. They fly with you. If you start thermaling up, they follow you. It's quite incredible. They play with you, and they have fun. And it's almost as if they call everyone, because you might start with 1 or 2, and the next minute you know you've got 200 flying with you. And you look up, and the sky is just covered in vultures. It's incredible. That is freedom. You know, you're flying up there, the sun is going down, it is peaceful, it is quiet, there's no war, there's no cars, there's no sirens. It's just being one with nature. You see things from a different perspective there. You can hear the wind in their wings. They look down at you. They are free, and we want to be free, and that's what they are. Seeing them in enclosure, they're not free. You know, unfortunately, we have confined them. It's allowed us to learn about them and to protect them. But having and giving them that freedom, that's what life's about. Being in the sky with them during sunset was a life-changing experience. It was spiritual. Your passion just double-fold. It's just, you just want to make a bigger difference. You want to kind of get people and shake them and say, gosh, look at what you're doing to this world, you know. You've got to go up there, you've got to experience it. And only then, I think, will people truly realize.
Trail running is a sport that's accessible to anybody with enough guts to get off the couch. And the Crazy Store Magaliesberg Challenge caters for those anybodies, including those that aren't crazy enough to take on the 35 kilometers in one day. For the smarter athletes who made the wiser decision to run the shorter 10 kilometer and 20 kilometer routes, the day was a bit more fun-filled, although a lot of them were quite terrified by the gorilla man showing them the way.
Look, the reality of trail running is it's an outdoor adventure far more than a run for a personal best time. And when folk are working so hard at their daily lives and jumping in the traffic every morning, they've got to on the weekend go and do something that's a soulful, enjoyable outdoor adventure. And to have a trail running organised, where you've got medics and you've got a route marked, just makes a lot of sense. The folk can pay a little bit of money and with their friends go and really enjoy themselves in the mountain.
The shorter routes offered runners the opportunity to test their speed rather than their endurance as they made their way along handcrafted mountain biking and hiking trails along the banks of the river, which makes its way through the various farms. The floating bridge was a great source of entertainment for the large crowds that turned out to witness scores of runners taking a plunge in the murky waters where the resident crocodile had been stationed for the day. Luckily, everyone managed to escape with only a bruised ego and wet socks.
I'm Ben, how do you do? It's hit this after-hours joint they call the Rumpus Room.
I now belong to husband and wife.
Have some cake, honey. Or another drink at least.
We've followed David Greer as he traversed India from top to bottom. Now, get ready for a whole new adventure as David runs the entire length of the United Kingdom. Catch Trailbusters next month to see David and his support team crossing the lengths of Scotland, Wales and England to raise awareness for the Sipler Miles for Smiles campaign.
We're incredibly lucky in South Africa to have nature areas right on our doorstep. In Cape Town we have Table Mountain, in Pretoria and Johannesburg we have the Magaliesberg, and other places in the world just don't have these areas. So I'd really encourage people who maybe trail run or paraglide like we did in this film or mountain bike to get out into nature. You really come back as a different person. Whatever's troubling you, you sort of let go, and nature has this ability to heal you. Just to be one with nature is an incredible experience. So whether you're a an adrenaline junkie and going out there and having fun, or whether you just want to go and sort of be one with nature and look at the birds and the animals, I'd really recommend it.
Another episode of Trail Busters dusted. Keep exploring and catch us next month for more trail busting goodness. This is Trail Busters. You've got to bust out.